the world? It's episode 47. What is a HELOC? This is the 39.6 live Facebook show. The show that teaches you how to make your money work for you so you don't have to work for your money. We talk about investing, taxes, real estate, syndications, Airbnb, and even the car you drive. Today is a special 5-minute Friday finance episode. What is a HELOC? Yesterday, we tackled a refi question attached to a HELOC question, but we never actually talked about what a HELOC was. So here we are. A HELOC is a home equity line of credit. Oh, welcome, Facebook user. It's great to see you. We have Vina and Vamseen here. Can you actually hear me? Please give me a hello, a thumbs up, and it works. That'd be fantastic. All right. Vamseen doesn't even really use Facebook, so this is a very special occasion. Glad to have you here. Okay, so this is going to be a quick one. What is a HELOC? HELOC is a home equity line of credit. This is basically a low interest variable rate credit card secured by your home. All right, so if your home is worth, let's say, $500,000 and the mortgage is, let's say, $400,000, then the loan to the value is 400 over 500, which is 80%. Okay, so 80% is this magic number with loans because the banks feel pretty secure when you're at 80%. If you were to walk away from the house, they could probably get rid of the house and not lose money. Okay, now, at 80%, you don't have to pay PMI, mortgage interest premiums. That is assuming you have a regular loan as opposed to like a physician loan that doesn't often have PMI. Okay, now let's pretend instead of owing $400,000, you owe $300,000, and the house is worth $500,000. Okay, so for example, you've owned it for a few years and it's gone up in value, and you've also paid it down a little bit. So you owe 60%, 300 over 500. You owe 60% of the value. Well, that's when you're in a position that you could take out a HELOC because banks will often allow you to borrow up to or down to 80%, depending how you think about it. The loan to value ratio at 60% means you still have 20% of space there. So you owe 300, but they're okay if you owe 400,000. So there's $100,000 of space, and you can take out a HELOC of $100,000. You could also take out a home equity loan, which is like a second mortgage, which would be fixed payments on that $100,000. A HELOC is different. It's a variable rate, usually credit card, basically, where the rate can fluctuate based on market interest rates, and you don't have to take all your money out that full 100. It's a line of credit, so it's something that you can tap into. And I know a lot of people who actually utilize a HELOC as their emergency fund because they know they can always access that capital. But that's assuming the value of the property doesn't necessarily go down and you have that space. But once you have that HELOC open, you have access to that capital. It does cost some money to get open. It's not super expensive, and it's cheaper in general than getting like a refi in your house. Often it can be like $1,000 or $2,000. It does require an appraisal of your house, though. So appraisals can be more expensive the more valuable your house is. And they often have a draw period, which could be like, let's say, 10 years, where from the time it is opened and for the next 10 years, you're allowed to draw from that up to the maximum balance. Like your credit card, you can draw from it and you can keep going up until you hit your limit. And you can pay it down and draw more. And it can vary. But after that period is over, it often switches then to a fixed pay down period, which might be another 10 years, but include principal and interest. Often during the first 10 years, it's just interest only payments. So that's it. It's a way to access extra capital. It is not tax deductible in the current tax laws unless you use it for the house that it is attached to. So like if you take a HELOC on your own house and you spend that money to like improve your own house, then it potentially is. But the mortgage principal and your HELOC combined, you can't write off the interest for more than $750,000. Okay, but you can't use that HELOC to invest in other projects or spend on vacation and write it off. You used to be able to do that up to $100,000. No longer. If you do it though, know that you are also leveraging yourself more up. I'm not the biggest fan of doing this to leverage yourself up. If you need capital for whatever reason, if there's an amazing opportunity and you just need some liquidity, it is an excellent option. I don't necessarily like keeping that open forever, but that's just me. However, you have to be quite cognizant of the rules of having that HELOC. You can pay fees to close it early. You may be able to pay it down and leave the balance, but they often want you to keep that line of credit so that you will draw from it and they will collect interest, because there's definitely fees associated with it. And you have to take those fees into account when you're using that money to invest, because you have to subtract those fees from your earnings to calculate your total return on it. And so that's one of the reasons that I'm not the biggest fan, because you're borrowing money, paying interest, and have all these other fees, which actually can be substantial on a total basis when you put them all together. And then you have to definitely get well above that to really make it worth your while. So that's it for today, episode number 47. Until tomorrow, I think tomorrow's episode will be walk me through a syndication. I think this is something that everybody would love to actually see in kind of slow, basic detail. So I think we're going to do that. I don't know when, but tomorrow. Questions to me: what do I do with my HELOC money? I don't have a HELOC. I don't use it. What is the difference between a reverse mortgage and a HELOC? A reverse mortgage is very different. That's when you stop that's like basically your house is paid off and the bank starts paying you back monthly, like as cash flow. And then at some point they own the house, or if you die, they have the house, basically. Reverse mortgage, not really the best way to go. Although it could be right for some people. But for most people, if you can just rent out your property and make cash flow on it. But a reverse mortgage will allow you to get paid while you live there. So it can be super valuable. That's it. I will see you all tomorrow. Pieces.